Hello, Basics Bitches. Welcome to another episode of Muscle Monday. I'm your guide through the iron jungle and companion on this journey to a stronger you. Let's break down the basics of strength training with the precision of a weightlifting ninja. Lace up those lifting shoes and prepare for a weekly dose of muscle building wisdom. We believe strength isn't just in the body, it's in the mind, the heart, and the dedication to becoming a best version of yourself. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Call Me Skinny. I hope you guys are having an amazing Monday so far. It is a birthday episode, y'all. I turn 41 today. Whoop, whoop. Doesn't actually feel like I feel 41. To be honest, I probably feel partially the best that I have. Not necessarily weight-wise, but just like overall energy, how my body feels, even though sometimes I do like wake up and feel like a grandma, like I get out of bed, I'm like, creak, creak, creak. But you know, after a good night's sleep, that's what happens sometimes. So I just feel like, I don't feel 41. I feel like I have a lot more energy than I see a lot of other 41-year-olds out there having. So I feel like I'm doing pretty solid, and we just keep going. We just keep going. So there are some birthday specials. The only people who are getting birthday specials are people on my email list and people that listen to my podcast. So if you click the link in the show notes, you're going to see some birthday specials. And I hope you hop into one of these birthday specials. Whoop, whoop. So that being said, let's go ahead and have a chat today because I actually recently joined a new Facebook group because you know me. I like to try to go chime in my 2 cents and save people from all the MLM companies of the world. So I joined a new program, a new group, and somebody had posted that they had gained like 0.5 ounces or something like that on the scale, and they've been training really hard and they're pretty sure it's muscle and all these things. So I want to have a conversation here about why the scale might go up after an intense training session. Okay. This is normal, and we need to start normalizing this, that the scale fluctuates. I talk about this all the fucking time. So if you've ever put in a solid workout and you've woken up the next day and you've gotten a scale and you're like, holy shit, this is what's actually happening to me kind of right now. I am definitely, this last week, I have been in a calorie deficit, and my scale weight has literally basically flatlined as far as movement. But I'm going to tell you this, I am sore as shit. So I had a deload week last week. This week I started training again. I have not been squatting. I went back to squatting, even though for me, I want everybody to understand, even though it was not heavy for me. So I was doing about 135 and I did, I think 4 or 5 sets of 7. Like I was trying to hit 6 to 8, right? And I fell right in between, which was great. Anyway, even though that's not like super heavy, I've squatted 225 before, right? But I haven't been doing a lot of squatting lately. So I eased back into it. Dude, I think that was on Tuesday. Even like Friday. My days are all jacked up. All with the holiday and the back to school start. By Friday, my legs are still a little bit tight and a little bit sore. Then, yesterday I did another training session that was pretty intense. I started deadlifting again. I hadn't been deadlifting the last 8 weeks. Not consistently, I'll say that, even though it's in my program. Sometimes you just got to pull back on where you need to pull back from. Anyway, so I had a back session yesterday. It's deadlifting and back essentially. And I am wickedly it's not pain. It is definitely sore. Like I went solidly good yesterday. It felt like a great workout. I definitely felt myself getting pushed, which is awesome. I need to be doing that. Okay. But this morning I woke up and I'm sore. I'm like, fuck, man. The best thing for soreness and all those things are eating food, recovery, rest, stretching, foam rolling, continuously moving the body. Like people once they get sore, they sit still. It's the worst thing you can fucking do. So don't do that. Okay. But anyways, so I'm not shocked. I got on the scale again this morning only to see the same fucking number. Like I'm not losing quote unquote weight. Okay. But 2 things. 1, I'm not getting fat. 2, it doesn't mean I'm not losing inches or losing fat. And 3, it's not necessarily muscle mass that's going on my body. And I'm going to talk about this today, right? So once we get on the scale, it can be really confusing, especially if we are tied to the scale like it's a holy fucking grail. That is a If we're tied to the scale like the holy fucking grail. If we're tied to the scale like the holy fucking grail. Okay. That's the music teacher in me coming out, guys. Except I did not use words like that in the classroom. I did not. So it can be confusing. It can be kind of quote unquote demotivating if the scale is what motivates you, even though I think it's bullshit, right? But we're going to unpack what's actually happening and why that number might be increasing, okay? And like I said, it's not because you've gained fat and it's not because you just magically, packed on 4 pounds of muscle overnight. That is not what's happening, okay? So let's understand, one, the scale, okay? What does the scale measure? When you get on the scale, okay, you're getting a number that's getting put into your brain that reflects your total body weight. Total body weight. It's not just fat, even though like that's where our brain goes. Right? You see the scale goes up and you're like, oh my God, I'm getting fat. Oh my God, I'm gaining weight. Oh my God. And you panic. Like as if the scale only measures the fucking fat in your body. It doesn't just measure fat. Okay. But it also measures fat, muscle, bones, organs. I have to sneeze. I really apologize. Wow. Excuse me. Okay, we'll start that one again. It measures fat, muscle, water, bones, organs, bowel movements, any kind of thing that might happen. And it also measures inflammation. So if you have kind of inflammation, the scale might be going up, okay? It gives you this kind of like snapshot. Think of it like a little Polaroid. And it gives you this little snapshot in time of what your body looks like and what your body, or not what your body looks like, but what your body weighs. Okay. And it's just a total mass amount. That's it. A total mass. Okay. So when you see this jump in number, you gotta like pull yourself back in. This is where like scale relationship, food relationship, all this kind of stuff matters. That it could be due to like 100,000 different things. Cycle will affect this. Everything affects this, okay? But it could be water retention, inflammation, glycogen stores, hence keto, why everybody fucking loses weight. We'll talk about that in a second, right? Your cycle, if you haven't had a bowel movement in 2 days or 4 days, or you're not a consistent bowel, or if you've had 6 bowel movements because you're shitting your brains out, like all these things matter, okay? And that's going to affect your actual scale weight, the total number that the scale reads back to you. Okay. We have to be able to figure things out. Now, when it comes specifically to training, let's talk about the role that water retention and inflammation have. I want you to think about if you've ever broken a bone, stubbed your toe. Those are like the two main things, or just like had anything happen. I have a friend whose husband fell and his knee got super swollen, and they're having a lot of problems with the fluid that's, piling up in his knee. Okay. Anytime that you injure yourself, okay? Anytime that you injure yourself, what happens to that spot on your body? It does what? It swells. What is happening? Okay? Water is going to that spot to try to heal it. That is literally what it's trying to do, okay? So when we look at this from a training perspective and you've had an intense workout, your water retention is probably going to increase. My water retention this last week has probably increased. Okay. So when you are doing heavy resistance training, especially if it's a new movement, okay, or a challenging workout. Now, this last week, I've added in 2 things that I haven't been doing consistently: squatting, which is a heavy movement for me, and deadlifting, which is also a heavy lift. Okay. Those 2 things are going to stimulate my muscles way differently than not doing them. I would not have been sore had I not done either of those movements this week. Okay. So we have to understand that when you are doing this, if you're new to training or you do something you haven't done in a long time and you go pretty heavy on it, or you just really push yourself. Yesterday was a day overall, I just really pushed myself in everything that I did. Every single movement that I did. Okay. Your muscles, what ends up happening is they experience what we call these little micro tears, okay? And it's normal. This is how muscle actually breaks down to get bigger, okay? It's a part of the muscle building process, but your body responds to these micro trauma tears with inflammation, okay? Inflammation is your natural healing process. Like I said, if you have ever broken a toe, or like when I fucking dropped a 40-pound plate on my foot was giant. Why? It was trying to heal itself. That's the whole point. Okay. It sends extra blood, extra nutrients, water into the damaged muscle, into the damaged bone, into the damaged whatever it is to help recover whatever is hurt, whatever is not right. In the case of training, it's going to be into the muscles. Okay. When I broke my foot, it was into the bone, into the muscles around the bone, the tendons, the ligaments, the joints, all those things. It had to respond to all of those things. Okay. So it has to go into those spaces to help them recover and grow and repair. Okay. Now, along with your increased blood flow, your body will then retain more water to aid in the process. It will aid in more water, meaning it is going to retain more water. It's not going to release water. Okay, this is where extra water weight can show up on the scale. Maybe it's a pound, maybe it's 2 pounds. It could be 3 pounds, depending on the intensity of the workout. This is normal. This is fucking normal. And you know it's normal because you have seen it before. Somebody here, even if you have never broken a bone in your body, which would be wild to me, but somebody here has either broken a bone or seen a broken bone or seen somebody get injured. Like what happens when you break your nose? What happens when you get a black eye? What happens when you knock your noggin on something or you get hit in the head? It fucking gets big. Why? Well, because it's trying to heal itself. That is its job. The body does its job, which is why continuing eating a high protein diet during this time actually helps really aid in all of this that's happening. Okay. So let's talk about the water itself. The glycogen, which everybody's so scared of, the carbs, Y'all, your body hangs on to so many carbs in your muscles because that's where they're stored between there and your liver. Like you would be like, oh my God, my body holds 1,100 grams of carbs daily. What? 700 to 1,100, depending on what you eat. Yep. Depending on your training regimen. Yep. At one time, your body has 700 grams of carbs. 700. Do you understand? I eat like 150 a day. It stores 700 plus grams of carbs in your body. Wild, right? But let's talk about glycogen. This is a fun word. Storage, especially when you can't talk. Glycogen is stored from carbohydrates, okay? And they stay in your muscles and in your liver. And this is actually the primary fuel source for your body, okay? Primary fuel source for your body. After a tough workout, your body likes to replenish those glycogen stores, which is why post-training food is important. Okay. That's why eating after you work out, I didn't even work out, but every time I work out, I eat post my workout, typically within 30 minutes to an hour. Today I had yogurt, granola, and berries with some cinnamon on top. It's like what I do every day. Solid amount of carbs, solid amount of protein to help aid in the recovery. Okay. But you want to replenish the stores that have now gone. They've been used for energy. Okay. And keep in mind that for every 1 gram of glycogen, you also store 3 to 4 grams of water. This is why keto people, listen the fuck up, wake up. Let's go. Wake up, keto people. This is why you lose weight right away. Once you remove carbs, guess what you remove? Water. And then you drop 22 pounds in 2 weeks and you're like, oh my God, I'm losing all this weight. No, you're losing a lot of water, not fat. Know the difference. That's why scale weight and body weight are not the same. I mean, scale weight and fat loss, they are two different things. Weight loss and fat loss are not the same at all. Okay. This is why it's so important. So if you've pushed yourself super hard, your muscles are going to hold on to more glycogen. They're going to hold on then in turn to more water. Okay. And this could also lead to a temporary increase of weight when you step on the scale. And then let's have this other conversation, which is, ladies, you're not putting muscle mass on in a day. You cannot step on the scale and you're like, oh my God, the scale went up 4 pounds. Yeah, they do say muscle weighs more than fat. It must be muscle. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. It's crap. Okay. It's a misconception. We do not put muscle on overnight. It is a gradual process that requires consistent training, which the majority of women don't do. I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it. That might hurt your feelings, but I'll give you a hug later. It requires adequate nutrition, which majority of women don't do. Sorry, ladies, it hurts your feelings. I'll give you a hug later. And proper recovery, sleep, stress management, which most women don't fucking do. Sorry if this hurts your feelings. I'll give you a hug later. Hashtag hug. There's your hug. Okay. Seriously, though, you don't put on muscle mass overnight, and it requires these things to happen on a constant basis, consistently. Hence my master class. Okay. And while resistance training will create a stimulus for the muscle growth, it doesn't happen in a day, in a week, even in a month. Women who don't eat a high protein diet, who don't train actual like progressive overload strength training with a proper program, you're not putting on muscle. Sorry, I hate to break it to you, but you're not. Tell yourself whatever you want to tell yourself. You're not putting on muscle mass. The scale's not going to go up and you're like, oh, it's muscle because muscle weighs more than fat. It does not. A pound of muscle is a pound of fat. Okay. I lost my little spot here where I have all my notes. Okay. So it does require the stimulus for muscle growth, but it doesn't happen overnight. The increase in muscle size occurs over weeks and months in training, not just a couple of days. Okay. So if you see the scale go up after a workout, it's not because you suddenly gained all this fucking muscle. Okay. It's physically impossible to gain muscle mass like that in such a short period of time. Most women, it's like 4 to 6 months to year before you really start seeing an actual gain in muscle. Now you will start seeing a fat loss. If you are in a calorie deficit, you will start seeing a fat loss. This is where you quote unquote, you don't swap, but you can trade. You're not even trading. These are bad words to be using. What word I'm looking for? You are just losing fat while you're putting on muscle. There is no actual word. Maybe that's why. Because people want a fucking word. There is no word. You're losing fat. You're putting on muscle. It's just happening simultaneously. Okay. But this is why it's impossible to do in such a short period of time. Okay. It just doesn't happen like this. So the bigger picture, what is the bigger picture here, right? Don't panic if you've done a really hard training session and the scale goes up. It is normal. It's natural. It's temporary and it is normal. And it actually indicates that your body is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, which you should be grateful for. You should say, thank you, body, for trying to heal all these little micro tears that I put into my body every day at the training session, gym, whatever. I don't know. Right? And instead of focusing on day-to-day fluctuations, you have to look at progressive trends over months. This is why trending weight is so much more important than daily weight. What is your daily weight doing? What is your trending weight doing? Right now, since about mid-August, my trending weight has been fucking spot. I had a week where I had family in town and life was chaotic. Now I've had another week where it just was back to school. I started my period, my cycle. And I started a new training regimen this week. So it's not happening. It's just not happening right now. Does that mean I quit? No. Does that mean I give up? No. Do I have to make it mean something about me because I haven't lost weight in the last 2 weeks? No, I don't have to make it mean shit. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not fucking broken and nor are you. Okay. So the next time that you notice that this is happening, like start paying attention to other things. Take a breath and go, what have I done this week differently? What is different right now? Where is my cycle at? When was the last time I had a bowel movement? How hard have I been consistently training at the gym? Okay. Your body is doing what it fucking needs to do to recover, to build, to get strong. That is the whole point. That is the purpose. This process does take time, but during this time and during this process, water retention is going to happen. Okay. So you have to remember, right? Progress is progress. Progress is progress. Look at trend weight. Look at the other things that are going on. Are you consistently going to the gym? Are you consistently getting in water? Are you consistently eating more protein or more whole foods than not? Hey, you know what? You're doing better than the majority of the people out there in the world. Like, don't let that number after you've had a hard training session derail you and pull you off course. It is not necessary. You just have to keep going. We keep going. We keep going. Don't forget, you guys, check out the link in the show notes, the different links in the show notes if you want a fun little, birthday sale. I hope you guys have an amazing Labor Day. I hope you guys have a great day off if you get the day off, and enjoy, be smart, be responsible, and I'll catch you on the next episode.